Golf course, right? You picture, like, peace, quiet, not a spot for an assassination attempt. And yet, here we are, last Sunday, former President Trump right in the thick of it.
Yeah, no, it really highlights how vulnerable even those seemingly safe spaces can be. And this wasn't just, a random thing. This took planning. The Justice Department memo, it lays out a pretty unsettling timeline.
Let's get into that. So, suspects Ryan Routh, right, travels from Greensboro all the way to West Palm Beach weeks prior. That's not like a casual trip. What's he doing in the lead up?
Yeah, so this wasn't impulsive. Ruth, he's seen around Trump properties multiple times, different days, almost like he's, casing the joint, getting a feel for the place, the routines. And then to make it even more clear, there's this handwritten list in his car. Dates, venues, all matching up with Trump's schedule. Chillin'.
Okay, so anyone listening is probably wondering, how do you even start planning something like that?
Yeah.
What else screams premeditation?
So months before all this, there's this box just left in a residence, luckily never opened. Inside, ammo, a metal pipe, tools, letters, like a whole kit ready to go.
Hold on, letters, like handwritten. What are those about?
There's one stands out, Dear World. It starts, reads like he knew this would fail. Quote, "This was an assassination attempt on Donald Trump, but I failed you." And it gets worse. He then offers a $150,000 bounty for someone to finish the job.
A bounty. This is like out of a movie almost. What does that tell us about Ruth's headspace? Was he delusional, desperate? What?
Yeah, it's a tough one. Investigators are, trying to figure that out right now. And it's easy to just say, "Oh, he's delusional," but then you look at other things and it's like, "Wait a minute, there's something more going on here."
Like, what about that notebook, right?
Yeah.
The one they found in his car? Pages of notes, handwritten, about Russia, China, even talking about going to fight in Ukraine.
Right, exactly. And it's not just random thoughts either. They found this notebook next to a copy of a book Ruth himself wrote. And guess what? It's a whole critique of Trump's foreign policy.
Okay, so this is where it gets really interesting, right? Because now we're seeing a pattern. This wasn't just about Trump, was it?
Yeah.
It seems like Ruth was really fixated on what was happening globally, especially that war in Ukraine.
And he ties it all back to Trump. In his book, he specifically calls out Trump's stance on Ukraine, even says that, and I'm quoting here, Iran is free to assassinate Trump because he pulled out of that nuclear deal.
So it's almost like this feeling of, I don't know, helplessness. Like
Yeah.
he had to do something and that something was drastic, fueled by this mix of his own beliefs and whatever he was seeing happening in the world.
It's a scary thought, right? How personal issues mixed with the state of the world, maybe even some of that online stuff, echo chambers can push someone to this extreme.
And speaking of extremes, we got to circle back to that box. I mean, if he didn't open it, what was the point? What was the end game here?
Yeah, that box, it's a head scratcher. If he didn't plan on opening it, what was the deal? A message? Some kind of backup plan we might never know.
And if it was meant to be found, after something happened to Trump, what then? Why the Dear World? Note, the bounty. It just doesn't track.
Exactly. And then there's that Google search, right? On his phone. Palm Beach to Mexico, it said. Why Mexico? Was he trying to vanish? Was there more to it than we know?
It's like we've got pieces of a puzzle, but no picture to put it together. Just these, unsettling hints, No real answers.
And that's the scary part, right? Even with all the security, the intelligence, you can't always stop something like this from happening. It's unsettling.
Makes you think, though, what if someone had found that box sooner? Read those letters, I mean. Could it have changed things?
It's a chilling thought. Really drives home the point that we got to be aware, especially these days. Tensions are high. Online radicalization's a real thing. It's a different world.
Yet it's not just about catching someone in the act anymore. It's got to be about seeing the signs, the little things, what people are saying online. That stuff can turn dangerous.
Absolutely. We need to be talking about this more, understanding what leads to this kind of extremism, challenging those ideas before they become threats.
No easy solutions here, that's for sure. But this whole thing, it's a wake-up call. Makes you think about vigilance, about prevention. Thanks for diving deep with us.